Welcome to the studio. Today I am going to be working on a project and I am going to be using the Barnwood plank stamp. I am going to be stamping our shop table. It's an old dresser that we turned into a counter. We've added wood on the top and I want to make it look like old wood. Right now it was a piece of plywood and I have put 2 layers of paint on it and 1 layer of primer. So this stamp, the Barnwood planks, comes with 2 sets of stamps, and they're about, the actual planks, and I'm going to show you them, are about 4.5 inches wide, and we're going to stamp them across this table to make it look like an old plank table. So what I am using Wise Owl Chalk Synthesis paint, which is similar to all the chalk style paints. It's very, very porous. And we are using a brayer, this is a brayer. It's just a tool that we're going to roll the paint on the back. And then I have a thin mount that I am using. So there are 3 different 4.5 inch pieces of stamp that have different wood designs on them. I did one whole one here, and you'll see I just varied how much paint I put on it with the brayer, but this is 4 different ones out of the same, 4 different stamping impressions out of the same stamp. So I'm not going to use this one again. I'm going to use this one now for this second row, and you'll see how this works. And I'm probably not going to do the whole thing here, but I just want to do a couple rows. So this is the ink, or basically it's not ink, it is paint. And I am getting my brayer pretty loaded. This is a blob of paint on here that I put on. So then I have another thin mount, a little smaller, that I roll this in to make sure that I've got it nice and even over the whole brayer. Now I'm using a piece of scrap paper here to put my ink on because I do not want to get ink on my table where I don't want it. I'm going to keep calling this ink even though it's paint. So, all right, so you have to put enough on to be able to, this one I want to have a pretty clear image. I'm going to start this a little off the table. So let's see how this works out. Okay. And this color is called Peppercorn, and it is going over our antique villa, which is off-white. All right, so you can see there's a nice line here. There's a nice line here that you can line it up with so that it'll look like separate boards. And like I said, I'm popping it a little off the table here. And let's see how this one comes out. It's a nice big stamp, so I will be working pretty quickly, I would think, to get this done. So there's my first impression. And this is a really fine one. This one is a much thicker, more defined. This one just has a little bit of wood cuts. All right, so hopefully you can see that. And I am going to go ahead and do another one. Again, you want to make sure that your brayer is evenly loaded with paint. I'm using this piece of scrap paper back. It's a piece of the packaging so that I don't get the paint all over the table as I'm working. Match those lines because it does have the lines where you actually see along the top. Let's see if I put enough paint on it this time. Looking good. So this one may look similar to the last one. There you go. Now I'm going to use the same stamp, but I'm just going to put a lot less paint on it because I really don't want them to all look the same. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint on one side, a little bit on the other, just a little bit of paint. And I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but if I do them all exactly the same, it won't look as natural. So this one's going to look a little different. Not that much different. We don't want it to be the wood cut. We want the saw cut to be going the same way. And it's pretty easy to match up these lines. Let's see how this one comes out. Okay. Yep, so that one's a little lighter, which is exactly what I wanted. And I am going to do the last one. So here we go, one more on this stamp. I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of, I won't be able to see the camera, but you guys can see that. The lines match up really nicely. They're pretty easy to match up. And let's see how I did on that one. Not bad. Okay, so that whole row is done, and you can see it's very different than this one. There's a couple little pieces that go along with this. Now this one is a line for the middle of the board. I don't know if you could see it right here, but it's a line and a couple nail holes. What it does is it divides the boards up. So I'm gonna find a place like right here where it looks like I missed a bunch of ink, and that's where I'm gonna put it. You want to try to make it look as natural as possible. But let's see. Here we go. So here it is. I think I'm in the camera. You see how this is really, I don't have much there as far as design, so it's a perfect place to put these little accent pieces. And you know it's the details that make all the difference. It's some fake nail holes, and we're gonna put another one over here just to kind of break. Okay, so here we go. Again, this one is slightly different than the other two. Gonna put it down. And I'm just doing it like this where I'm using one stamp each row. You don't have to do that. Oh, I love it. You can use different ones, but for some reason I wanted to do it this way. Okay, I want to get this whole row done and then do a few more of the embellishments. I don't do a lot with paint. The paint is a little more difficult to work with. It dries real fast. You can get it inside the little grooves of, if you could see all those little grooves, you can get it inside the grooves easier. You can see I splattered some paint here. I'm not worried about that at all. I am going to just place this down and hope it looks a lot different. Okay. But you can see by varying how much paint you put on the stamp, you make it look a little more natural. And here, let's put, and this one I think I'm going to just flip it up the other way too, because I can. I don't want that to be too dark right there. These are big, like I said, they're 4.5 by, I think they're almost 12, the whole, which is good because you get, if you're doing a big project, you actually get it done quicker. So the other neat thing that comes with this stamp is these little knots. So I am going to put a couple of these knots here in these spaces here. So this is just a little tiny knot. It comes with the, there's a couple different ones that come with this stamp. And you know, old barn planks would have knots. So there's a knot. And then we're going to put another, let's see, there's another one I haven't used yet. I don't know what the difference is between this one and that one, but it's another little knot. We'll maybe put that one up here. Okay. The nice thing about the chalk paint, though, even though it dries real fast, it cleans up really, really easy, really quickly. All right, so where should I put that other one? Here's a space where we don't have much going on. So I'm going to put that one here. I've got that one there. And Oh yeah, this one is very cool, very different. I'm going to put another one of the nails, the dividers. So what this little stamp, this one does, it divides up the whole, so it looks like two boards. All right. I want it to look, so I've got one there, one there. I think I'm going to put this one up here. So it looks like, I just am random. This is a random design. And you really do want it to look random because I think it will look more natural. So that is how you use the Barnwood planks. These little embellishments make a huge difference. There's actually another little nail head too. I don't know what the difference is between that one and this one. Maybe I should try this one. Maybe I'll put this one way over on the edge and we'll see the difference. The little divider. And even though like this looked like one, and it's probably the middle of a stamp, it's not even the edge, by putting the nails and the divider there, it makes it look very natural. And let's do one more. We'll put this, because I like these. I think they make a huge difference. So I think I'll put one way down here. I'll move the camera down again so you can see our last one. So this one may be, I think, a little more exact. That one looks a little more distressed. Let's see how this one comes out. The nails on this one are much bigger. Okay. There you go. This one's great too. Can you see that? So you can see, makes it look like wood. So we're halfway done with our table. I'm going to move everything and then I'm going to finish it.